sometimes I can't come to terms with the fact that we've been asked to stay home.
I have coronavirus.
Yeah.
I have coronavirus.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, he was behaving that way.
These days I speak to anything. I speak to myself so much. I don't know if it's like some neurological problem or something. I really want to get out of this stronger.
Hey guys, it's Neha. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd video call some of my friends who are in different parts of the world. I thought it'd be interesting to ask them how they're doing, what they're doing at home, what the situation is like in their country, and basically talk about all the changes that have come along with staying at home because of the coronavirus. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. Hi!
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going? How's the situation in the US? I know it's pretty bad, like the news.
Because I don't really live like in New York, it's like it doesn't really hit you as fast that it's a bad, the situation is bad, but everyone's still doing their part, at least back at home here, staying indoors, but we still take a lot of precautions. I've been home for 3 weeks now. We had this thing called a stay-at-home order, so which includes like closing down all non-essential businesses, and that's been on for like 2 weeks now. The streets are empty.
So all your classes are happening online and stuff, or are they like?
Yeah, all our classes are through Zoom. So this year, the seniors who are going to graduate, like their graduation ceremony is like online, probably a video call or something.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, but
Yeah.
it has to be done, right?
I feel like taking a break and kind of just trying new things. So I'm not really like doing new things in the sense like, people pick up hobbies, art and stuff. I'm not doing that, but I'm definitely more just going back down to like stuff I used to do that I never did in college because I just didn't have the time. So like I've started reading again. Like I'm so shocked that I've been reading now. Yeah. So
That's great.
and it's like I just sometimes I can't come to terms with the fact that we've been asked to stay home. Do this, like just stay home. Like this is kind of like I read a tweet somewhere where they said you're a psychopath if you think that you're thriving in this, stay at home order. But like honestly, then am I a psychopath? Because like this is exactly what I as an introvert want to do. Like I love it.
But the only problem here is that it's not like I'm not doing anything. It's basically I've gotten more work. Like even you, I'm sure you have to like do so much cleaning, some part of cooking, other housework going around the house.
Maybe I miss going back outside, and maybe I miss going for class.
Yeah, but I also obviously want to like say that I recognize like the privilege that we have, that we can be home.
Yeah.
Obviously is a luxury, right? There's so many people who can't be home or are not close to their homes. So I just want to say that. I mean, it's also like on social media also I kind of feel like it's gotten earlier. I think it was also like everybody expressing their views and everybody going through different things, whoever's staying at home, whoever's not being able to stay at home. And for a while I think it was like a little bit of like attacking other people, like how can you say that, you're at home, you don't even have to deal with this, stop crying about it. And then even like, and the other way around also, there were a lot of people saying like it can take a toll on you just staying at home. Some people have issues at home, probably don't get along with their family that much. So it can be a lot of like stress in that way also. But I guess it's gotten to a point where you really need to be sensitive right now and respect everybody and whatever they're going through. You can't just demean somebody else's like trouble just because you think that yours is greater or whatever. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going through much more.
Oh yeah, definitely. One of my friends, like so he's my friend through Twitter. Like I call it Twitter friendship, I think. I don't know, but he was tweeting about how he loved his freedom in college. He had his space, and the issue with being back at home is that they live in a small apartment. He has a younger brother and they have to share one room, and he still has online classes going on, and so like you have to, like you said, you have to understand people's situation at home is different.
I sometimes think of like how it would be after this thing kind of like dies down, after we all start kind of going out. What will we look back at this time as? Like what our memories of this time will be, and even like how we behave one another. Like, do we hug each other now? Do we shake
Yeah.
hands? Because for a while at least it's gonna be around, right? It's going to be like everybody's
Yeah.
gonna be conscious about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
bye. Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Hi Neha.
How are you
How
guys?
are you? We're doing well. How are you?
Good. How's it in London? How's the lockdown going in London?
Situation is pretty bad, I think, in terms of the number of cases that have been recorded and the number of deaths which keeps increasing on a daily basis. Even though all of us have now been, I think, officially on lockdown since the last 2 to 3 weeks now, I think the numbers are still going up, which basically shows that a lot of people have actually contracted the virus, and some of them are just showing symptoms now. So the situation is not really good, in fact, I think, and I think we are still seeing an upward trend on the number of cases on a daily basis.
So 23rd, 24th onwards we've been home. 24th
We've
March
been,
onwards.
yeah, I've been home since like
for
6 weeks now, I think.
Yeah. Pranav's been home since 2nd March. Yeah.
How's that going? Are you guys like going mad
I think
or?
initially it was good. I think it was okay. We were just, like we knew we had to do it because of safety, and we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can get onto like other people's nerves as well, because 24/7 you're with the same person 24/7. You can get into like too much into.
Are you both fighting? Are you like get away
Well,
from?
I think
I just want.
we're not fighting any more than we used to in the past.
Yeah.
So for us it's been like the same. The only probably downside was that last about 2 weeks back I sort of started to feel like a bit sick.
Mhm.
So for 2 3 days I was like under the weather. I had like a mild cold and cough.
Is that scary? Because then you start thinking you become paranoid and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
The
No,
first
it
thing
was.
that happened when he started coughing that day was the first thing that he said, and I was sleeping that day, and he woke up and he's like, I have coronavirus.
Yeah.
I have coronavirus.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, he was behaving that day. Okay, and then I got up with such a start, I don't know what is
Now,
happened to him.
I'll tell you what happened. Basically, I could feel that I was gasping for breath, essentially, and my heartbeat was quite high, and I didn't know what was the reason for it, because the previous day or the previous evening I had actually started coughing for no reason. Like we hadn't been out anywhere, and we were at home the whole time. We were in fact quarantined for like the last 2 weeks, so we didn't step out at all. And suddenly I picked up this cough out of nowhere. So I wasn't sure where it was coming from, and then in the morning when I got up, I was feeling uneasy essentially. So therefore I was then obviously your mind starts then I was checking off for symptoms and this and that and whatnot. So there were like shortness of breath and gasping for breath. That's a symptom along with cough. So that's what then started. But I think it turned out to be like a normal cough only. So I just had like normal medication, and I spoke to the pharmacy, and they gave me like a cough syrup and all. So that's it.
You're fine now.
Yeah, I'm much better now. Like you can already find out like I'm not gasping for breath or anything. I'm not coughing as I was. Like during the weekdays, we just go out for work, right? So every weekday, we used to be. So she used to get she used to get lunch at school, and we used to either sometimes we used to we used to cook together. We used to basically pack lunch. I think, but otherwise I used to get lunch at work. So we never really had to care about lunch as such. So all we used to do was, get up in the morning and be out of the house, right? We have a light breakfast or whatever it is, go to work and then come back in the evening, and then you're done basically. But now the thing is, you wake, in between of work, you have to make out time for lunch as well, then get back to lunch, then get back to work as well after lunch, continue with that whole process. So that's like a huge shift. And then now you don't know that, because we stay in like a studio apartment, right? That's a bigger problem for us. So basically, we are sleeping in the same bed, and we wake up and we barely have like a study table over here. We only have like a dining table. So we barely have like, say, 5 meters to go to the right, and then we have a dining table. So, where do you sit and work, right? It's almost like,
You don't have a proper workstation.
So exactly. And that's one of the biggest
It's
I think,
also
drawbacks.
difficult to like shift from that mindset, right? Because usually once you just get out of the house and you're doing things, I think like you will be in that
No, exactly.
mindset.
Yeah.
And then when you get home, you're in your home. So it'll be so difficult if you're just moving like 5 meters and you have to start thinking of everything else.
Yeah, Monday to Friday we are busy from say 9 to 5:30, our usual work hours. We are busy. And then after that, just prepping for dinner, cleaning up,
Mhm.
and time passes by in that.
I mean, how much time do you literally have? Like,
Yeah.
most of your time, I think 80 to 90% of your time goes on either just, just sustaining, right? So you're just basically, you're working, then you're cooking,
Yeah.
you're cleaning, right? That's basically your time. And then the time that you don't get in that, you just want to relax. And
Yeah.
by relaxing, you're just basically, either you're just sitting and doing something on your
Yeah,
phone,
right. Like
either you're just doing an activity, or you're just watching something on Netflix to just, take your mind away from work and stuff. So
yeah.
how much are you, instead of developing a new skill, or how much are you doing? I don't think you have time for that, because you're just busy in your life, and your
Exactly.
daily
Like,
activities.
not too much of time. Like, and I find myself so tired at the end of the day. I just want to sleep, like, or relax and not do anything.
I think it's sort of important to have an activity
Yeah.
that you do outside of just work and all, and then take out time for it. I
Yeah.
think the only activity I take out time for is playing the PS4. To be honest, that's what I do.
So fun. Okay, bye guys. It's nice talking to you.
Bye.
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 Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi.
Sai, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I should have left as soon as like there was a chance. I assumed it'll be okay. I'll just leave whenever I want to, and then they've cancelled all flights.
So where are you exactly right now?
It's like 2 hours east of Amsterdam.
So in the Netherlands.
Yeah, in the Netherlands. It's not a complete lockdown. You're still allowed to like go outside and stuff.
You are? Wow.
Yeah, yeah. You can still do your exercise and stuff, but you shouldn't see people. And if you see them, then you need to be 1.5 meters away. Otherwise, there's like a 400 euro fine. I wouldn't want to pay that necessarily. So, and all supermarkets are open. So
Huh.
going to the supermarket is like my event. Like I dress up and stuff to go to the
The thing
supermarket.
of the day. That's what makes it.
Yeah, but the weather is good, which is nice. It's nice and sunny. See that much. So.
Are you cooking?
Yeah, I stay alone, so I have to cook.
Are you bored of your cooking?
Actually, I thought I would be, but I'm not. I think it's a good chance to make new things also. Like yesterday, I started baking a little bit. I made brownies yesterday, even though they were as hard as cookies. Like it was fun, the
Yeah.
experience making something. And I think next I'll make like some Victoria sponge cake or something. It's fun. I've been trying new things, but otherwise I think I just have mood swings with this situation. Like sometimes this is really doable. I can learn things. I can do so much, but other times I just don't see anyone I recognize, so
Yeah.
it gets a little too much. The thing is, in this, what I've tried to do is I've been trying to do these few things where all the old teachers that I had, I mean, those who, I wouldn't necessarily get in touch with again, I've been trying to get their emails and just write to them. Like when I left Sayadri or when I left even Rockwood, for instance, a lot of people, like, simple people, like some maintenance guy who you'd never necessarily speak to. When you leave, you actually have no reason to speak to them again.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I just write to them and I tell them that I think about them, then maybe in some way I'll do justice to what they did for me.
Yeah.
It's a very vague thought, but I've been thinking about that a lot.
But that's a really nice thing to do.
I finished this course on Udemy today. It took
Udemy,
me
dude, I was just thinking that like the only thing that could ever make anybody finish a Udemy course is a lockdown. Like, has anybody ever finished a Udemy course? I want to meet these people. Like, I have been on a Udemy course for so long and I'm at the end of it now. Like, I have 2-3 sections left. It makes me so happy that I'm towards the end of it.
I thought I was the only one who never finished it, but it's nice to know that I'm not the only one.
But how is it like living alone? I don't know how you're like managing.
Most people I speak to, every time I say I'm alone, they're like, I can't imagine being alone.
If you are kind of introverted, you would like 80% be enjoying it.
This is an introvert's like paradise, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm usually when I don't know people, it takes me really long to start speaking to them, but once I start speaking to them, I make
Yeah.
a complete fool out of myself without
Yeah, that's like most people, I think.
I miss like just voices in the background, sometimes.
Yeah. Once I was alone at home for like 5 days. There was nobody at home.
Mhm.
And at first I was like thrilled. I was like, this is amazing. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want at whatever time I want. And
Oh,
nobody's
yeah.
going to be there. And then eventually it got boring. So I would just put on the TV in the background for no reason because just like I need to hear something.
Yeah,
Even if
same,
I'm not watching the TV. Yeah.
same. I also managed to get a plant. Like it's a small banana plant. I really like it. Can I switch the
Yeah.
His name's Ricardo.
Wow. You talk to the plant and you're like, hi, Ricardo.
These days,
Yeah,
trust me.
this.
These days, I speak to anything. I speak to myself so much. I don't know if it's like some neurological problem or something, but I speak to myself about everything. I get mad at myself sometimes about nothing. It's strange. It's very strange.
Yeah.
YouTube is so like addicting, I think. However, if you think about it, now we take it up like as a challenge, not being too engaged with social media and stuff. At one point in our lives, for most of it actually, in your case, this used to be the way of life. Like we didn't have
Yeah.
social media, and we also couldn't care less because you just are with people. I often think about that actually.
Yeah, I mean, Sayadri, right? That's why.
Yeah.
I was in Sayadri since 5th. So I didn't have social media for like most of my like those years where everybody kind of gets onto it.
I think I like the rest of this quarantine time, I want to take up something like not necessarily a skill, but I really want to get out of this stronger and stronger, not physically, but like just as a person, because there's so many things. When this wasn't happening, I used to be like, there's this much I can do, there's this thing I can learn. But now that I have it, I feel like I'm not valuing it as much as I thought I would. I really need to like get out of this stronger. And I think the first rule I need to make for myself, and it's what I would recommend also to everyone, is having a routine.
Yeah.
Because most of this, what's happened up till now, I'll wake up at like 11, and before you know it, it's 4 o'clock in the evening,
Time
and 4 o'clock
doesn't really
feels
get
like.
old. Yeah.
And I think we're very lucky to be staying in an age where internet's a thing also. Like we maybe don't think about it, and we also criticize it quite often, but then it's made life easier,
Yeah.
a lot easier.
Definitely.
The other day,
Imagine being in this whole like pandemic without the internet.
oh god, yeah.
Like, I think that would just be unimaginable.
So for me, it started off as a reflective experience, and now I think I'm ready to build upon the foundation that I've created for myself. Even though this sounds very cheesy, I think
I
it's.
completely agree. It's also been like for me very reflective. Okay.
Chal fir, bye. Take care.
Bye.